guys dressed in the room. How you doing? Good to see you, man.
Good.
Looking good. Looking
Congratulations
good.
on your guys winning last night.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was,
2 and 3 years. Not bad.
could have been 3.
Yeah, but I don't know. If we'd have got last year, I don't know if we would have got KD. So
That's true.
Who are they signing this summer now?
I don't know. I don't think they need
signing
much.
KD
They're gonna
and
tweak a
Curry.
little bit, but they don't need much.
They're going to sign KD and Curry.
I know Cleveland's worried about who they're gonna be signing.
Yeah.
But King James was phenomenal. Man. It just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough.
How was training camp?
Training camp was good. Training camp was real good.
Are we kind of hoping that the series will extend a little longer so you get back to the game?
Nah, I was actually hoping it extended a little bit longer selwoselfly so I could have some entertainment throughout the week. You know, a little bit more entertainment.
Drop the sheet, baby.
I thought a game back in Cleveland would be interesting, but that's just selfish. I knew I had a good feeling they were going to close it out, even though it was a little rough early on.
You talk to anybody from the team?
I texted with Kevin and Draymond and David West.
Are they coming to the fight, any of them?
I'm okay.
I don't know. I think some of the guys are going to try to make it.
So do a fight and then get some tables afterwards, celebrate your, hopefully your win for you. And
Yeah, I'll link up with those guys at some point. Yep.
Do you have any sense of, in a everyday sense of what they and also you have meant to people in
The Bay Area is a very interesting place because in some respects it's big, but in many respects, it's considered a small market. And they've always, and they being, just the people, they've always just had a great love and admiration, for their athletes. And the other cool part is that the athletes, whether they're, homegrown or transplants, they stick together. So it's just, I don't know, like Marshawn's a good friend of mine, several of the Raiders, like it's just a really close-knit community, and the fans, man, they love to see that. And then, we give back and do what we can do with events and different things like that. So I hope we mean, as much as I feel like we mean to them, which is a lot.
It seems like this promotion has gotten personal on both sides. I can't speak for you, but Sergey's talking about how he just really doesn't like you and doesn't like your team. And do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I plan on him not liking me even more after Saturday. Yep. So I'm cool with that. Me personally, like I don't dislike the guy. I think for me, I've always tried to be careful with that because I honestly do have a disdain for my opponents because I understand they're trying to come hurt me, like literally. They're trying to take something out of my mouth, off my children's plate. Like that's not just a cliche, that's real. I take that personal. But like if it crosses over into a situation where I really hate you, I feel like personally, internally I've gone too far. I don't have to have a hate for you to get up for you, to lock in, to do what I got to do, or to be nasty in that ring. So it's not personal. That man has a family, and I hope he gets out that ring and gets home to his kids like I want to get home to mine. But I don't like a lot of his ways. I don't agree with him. Things I've heard, things I've seen, the way he treats people. But that's not a personal hate or anything like that.
When he was asked, just a few minutes ago about the charges that he's racist, he got really, riled up, and then
He didn't. He said no. He said he wasn't answering it. Is what he said.
No, then after that he got riled up.
No, he didn't. He said he wasn't answering.
Yes, he did. I had the quotes right here. He got riled up and he said that they were rude, and he said the team was rude. He chalked it up to you guys trying to play mind games with him. You not here for that?
Yeah, he did, but he didn't want to answer the question originally.
Yeah, originally no answer. So I'm saying
I've never called the man racist. I've never called the man a racist, and I've made a point not to because I don't know if he's a racist. I can't, it's not like I don't know. But he has said things and done things with racial overtone, and that's as far as I take it. I haven't called that man a racist because I don't know what's in his heart. I don't.
You think when a guy gets riled up, that's just going to be you or him or any fight, you think you lose something when you lose control? You lose some of your ability if that dominance is seen.
Yeah, I only know maybe one or two fighters that I know in boxing history that could fight angry and that was successful. And one of them was Roberto Duran.
Sure was.
And I love Roberto. I've met him, just a fun-loving guy. But you see, like for example, in the second fight with Leonard, when Leonard was just as nasty, but he was smarter. And then he took Roberto's mind first, and then his body followed. Same thing in this fight. because he believes everything he's saying. He believes that he was robbed. He believes it's an injustice. He believes all of that. So I got to change his mind in this fight, and then the body part, the physical part, will follow. So to answer that is to say, I don't know how successful or unsuccessful he's going to be. I'm not worried about him. You know, as far as I'm concerned, I want him angry. I want him steaming, and I'm going to be a surgeon in there, and that's what's going to get it done.
Andre, who was the other fighter you
Man,
saw?
we were just talking about this.
Who fought angry and was successful?
George.
Big George. Early in his career, first career.
When
They
they
maybe listed too.
when they you and him were standing there and they're about ready to read the scorecard, did you expect that you had won?
I felt I won, yeah, but you don't
Did
know.
you expect that they would say you?
I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, I've literally beat a guy by 10 rounds and asked Verge, man, you think I won? I don't know. This is boxing. You don't know until it's read. So, but I felt like I won. If you look at my demeanor after the fight, I didn't look dejected. I walked around the ring and lifted my hands up. I knew it was a close fight. I've been boxing a long time.
Very close.
So but I don't know how they saw. I mean, I've seen fights where one judge has a 115, 113, 108, 112. Like, what? You don't know until they read it out. You know, if you look at Kathy Duver ringside, she didn't look too confident when that bell rang. So it's funny how they'll say a lot of things, and that's why we just sit back and just watch. Because they contradict themselves a lot. You can poke a lot of holes in what they say without even trying because they talk too much. So I don't know how confident she was. She didn't jump out of her seat ringside and run to the ring. She looked dejected. And it was a comment about the look on my face when I just won the light heavyweight championship of the world. I'm gonna be excited. But whether anyone believes me or not, if I felt like this guy beat me by 4 or 5 rounds, 6 rounds, man, they gave it to me, I guarantee you, I would be the first at the table to say, thank you, judges, I appreciate it. I'm not taking these belts. You beat me. But I'm not going to apologize for grinding out a close decision. I'm not going to do it.
The theme that they have established is that he was overtrained and exhausted. And
From round 5 onwards.
Did you sense that? Did you sense that during the fight?
I saw the same guy that I've always seen in fights, where when he can't get you out of there, he fades. You know, that's what I've seen. You know, and I haven't seen a boatload of his fights. I've seen the Chilimba fight, and I've seen, I think, part of Pascal 1, and I was ringside for Pascal 2, and maybe a small clip or 2 of Bernard. But you kind of see a theme in those fights, you know. But I think the difference was those guys are so used to, he's so used to guys trying to get away from him and avoid the power that he's able to rest and kind of hide the fatigue.
You got it.
And when you have somebody kind of pressing the action and making it work, that's what you see. And if you think about it, he didn't bring up anything about being overtrained until he got to Oakland. That was maybe 4 months after the fight. That's because he kept hearing about us talk about, we know you were tired, man. He had to come up with an answer. That's the first time he spoke about any of that was in Oakland for I think that was the second press conference. I think it was the second press conference. So all of that stuff matters, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. You know, we're a few days away from this fight. All the excuses, all the whatever, that's fine. Be at your best this time. I'm gonna be at my best. The truth be told, I wasn't at my best. We had a rocky camp, and those are some in terms of the details, physically, that things I dealt with that I'd like to get into later. But it's part of it. You gotta come in and you gotta figure it out. But we didn't have a stellar camp the first time around. I think this camp was a lot better.
And then you had to figure out stuff during the fight itself.
Yeah, I mean, but that comes with it, you know. Obviously, the start wasn't plan A, plan B, or plan C. But you know, he's a really good fighter, and I've never taken that away from him. You know, I've given him the respect to say that you know, once a champion, always a champion. He's got not only was he a champion, but he had plenty of defenses. He's a quality fighter, and sometimes it's not gonna be easy. So, but I've never tried to be a guy who had to only win one way or else, you know. And unfortunately, man, obviously Verge did a tremendous job, and you know, we did what we had to do. But the start in this fight is key. I don't want to have to start with that.
When you're adjusting in a fight, Andre, are you adjusting defensively or offensively? Like, are you adjusting if you feel like you're getting hit early in the fight? Do you make an adjustment to that to stop him from hitting you, or do you try to adjust your offense so you can hit him more?
Yeah, it's kind of seamless. It's almost like you guys writing an article and then you go in a direction and then instinctively that's not delete. It's just not like it just happens, and
It's organic.
yeah, it just happens, and then it may be one or two key things that he brings. Hey man, you keep doing this, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't know I was doing that. So it's a team, it's a collaborative effort, but yeah, it's instinctive. If I feel like I'm getting touched with something, I gotta immediately make the adjustment because, when you're fighting the best, it's one thing to get touched with one punch. But 2 and 3, that's when you can have some trouble. And even the greats, the great defensive fighter Floyd, Purnell, you may touch them with one, but you're not gonna hit them with a 2-piece or a 3-piece. And I think the key is recognizing immediately what happened and then making the adjustment.
Are you hopeful that you just mentioned Floyd and Purnell? I know you've said many times that getting hit's not cool and it's better to be being defensive as part of the sport. Are you hoping that maybe your success will convince younger fighters to start fighting that way?
No, I mean I think, to be honest with you, I don't know if people really can define my style. I think a lot of people go to the closest thing. He's a slick fighter, but trust me, it's a lot more going on in there than just being slick. Because fighting some of the guys that I fought, if I was a pity pat run, duck, those guys would walk through me. You can't do that with a Frost. You can't do that with an Abraham. You can't do that with a Kovalev. You can't do that with certain guys. So when I say that, it just means that I've already reserved in my mind I'm gonna get hit. That's number one. It's gonna happen. But I'm not gonna. My goal is to not give you nothing for free. And there's plenty of exchanges going on. There's times you get hit, things happen, and maybe you guys don't even see it. So you're getting hit, and I'm not adverse to getting hit. I'm just not going to give you my head on a platter and say, let's do it. Taking 2 to give 1 was the first thing my dad told Virgil when he first met him. He said, can you teach my son how to hit and not get hit? And I'm thankful for that, because if I wasn't taught the mastery of the game, I may not be here right now 13 years in. It's a young man in a coma right now. That's the reality of our sport. Every single time I step in the ring, not just in a pro fight, but 3 days a week when I'm sparring, I got to go 12, 13 rounds with 4 fresh guys who are trying to make a name for themselves, and they're not taking it easy. Because if they did, he'd get them out of there. And you're getting hit with shots, stuff's happening. That's the reality of our sport. So that's why I get irked sometimes when I feel like a fighter is being trashed or disrespected. It's one thing to have constructive criticism. Hey, you didn't look good. That we all need that. That's part of it. If you can't handle that, then that's on you.
Yeah.
But I literally know what we're putting on the line. I know sometimes people are like, oh, we get it, you're putting your life on the line. But when you see a situation like that, man, it hits close to home.
Do you think all fighters realize that that's at stake?
I think they do, but I think you find a way to bury it. You find a way to bury it. That can't be in the forefront of your mind. If that's in the forefront of your mind walking out to the ring, you don't need to be fighting. You don't need to be fighting.
Does it become harder as you get older to compartmentalize that in a place when your kids are growing up and you're seeing your family grow? Does that begin to play on your mind more?
I don't think it gets harder. I think, it's kind of the same that it's always been. And, it'll hit you at just odd times. Something like this will happen, or, you get hit with a good shot in sparring, nobody knows, and you put it on the mark. Okay, let's mark that down. When you get older, you do more of that. But if I feel like there was any hesitation or any overthinking, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. It's just, this is not the sport for that. But I think what gets me through is just a faith and a belief that I feel like I have life after boxing. That's a belief that I have. I feel like God has plans for me beyond this sport. And if He has plans for me beyond this sport, I can't be messed up, and carry those plans out. So that's my faith and that's my belief. And in my heart of hearts, I never want anything to ever happen to an opponent of mine either. I just
Andre,
don't want it.
can I ask you, I know you like MMA, you're friends with the Diaz brothers, and it's okay in that culture to tap. I've had enough. I can't do this. In the boxing culture, Roberto Duran, we still talk about the no mas fight. Do you feel like in any way the culture needs to change in boxing so that, you know, not that guys are afraid, but that, hey, if you're getting beat up, you know, tap, so to speak?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I mean, I can't wrap my brain around that in terms of for me personally.
Well, why would it be tough if you're saying that every fighter knows?
Because I got to live with that.
When you get in there, and yet you get in there and you're in trouble, you know better than anybody you're in trouble, right?
But I got to live with that for the rest of my life.
Does Virgil have absolute permission to pull you out if he sees you in that moment knowing you don't want to come out?
That's his job. If I was ever in a situation, God forbid, where he knows what to do. You guys have seen him with other fighters, you know, do what he has to do. You know, he knows what he has to do. I don't worry about that.
He did a great job last weekend.
He knows what he has to do, you know. And that shows you that somebody who has a heart, he's not just hired hand, like he cares about that individual.
You know, you were talking before about how there's very few fighters in history that can fight angry. And Sergey's saying all this stuff that's, you know, seemingly angry earlier. Do you think that he's already behind the eight ball, so to speak, going into this?
I mean, I can't put my hat, hang my hat on that, but you know, I take him at his word. You know, and that's where mentally, that's where I keep it. You say you want to hurt me, okay? My job is you're not gonna hurt me. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna end my career, okay? So that means you're gonna take me away from my kids and take something out of my kids' mouth, okay? It's not gonna happen. See, my stuff is more internal. You know, I internalize this stuff and it drives me. I don't have to verbalize it. I just show you when I need to show you. But like I said, I fought 100 of these guys before in my career. I fought 100 of them. Where you put your emotions all on the table, you put your bravado on the table, you put your pride on the table, and that's cool. You may mean what you say. My job is to turn you away.
But is that? Do you think that's going to hurt him?
I can't say. You know, we're gonna find out in a couple of days. I can't say.
You don't fight with emotion, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's just a different kind. You know, it's control. You know, it's control. Yeah, it's control. But I'm not a robot. You know, I feel it. You know, I don't listen to everything you say. I don't honestly probably 80% of what they've been talking about. I haven't gotten wind of it. I just get the overflow. Hey man, you know, this is what's so out. Yeah, really. And I pick and choose what matters to me and what doesn't. You know.
Andre, you're a very calm person, and you're just saying that. But just the other controversy with what happened with the ruling of with the judges that gave you the fight. Oh, not gave you earned the fight. I guess. Sorry, I'm probably saying
it's
this
cool.
wrong.
You said what you meant to say. It's all good.
But it's just there's so much controversy between the outside, fans, not just Kovalev, but does it bother you a little bit? People are saying you didn't earn the victory.
It doesn't, bro, because I mean you got to realize something. Like, it's easy to camp around that, but I mean I couldn't tell you the amount of people who told me the opposite. Like, it's funny in boxing. We'll focus on one side of the coin, and we'll build a whole case around that side of the coin, and we'll totally ignore the other side because that's what we want to hear. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you the amount of text messages, phone calls, people I ran into. Like, bro, that was a tremendous comeback. Enjoy your victory. You earned. Couldn't tell you. So a controversy just means that there's an opinion about the decision. If there's a close decision, but you guys know, like I know, we've seen some bad decisions here, and nobody said anything. Move on. He should have did better, and you move on to the next because there's a bigger agenda up ahead. A lot of people didn't want me to win that fight, so you see the true colors come out. That doesn't mean you can't have an opinion about. I felt he edged you. I'm cool with he edged you. Disagree, but I'm cool. When you start hearing stuff, notable people say, "Oh, it's home cooking." Explain that. My first fight in Las Vegas. I live on this coast, but I'm not from here. And he's actually fought here more than me. I have no bearings here. So explain to me where that's a personal agenda. So when you see those personal, it's beyond, man, I thought he got edged. I respect that. That's an opinion. You're entitled to it, but you're not entitled to your own facts. So to answer the question specifically, but I've enjoyed my victory. We haven't had any parades. We haven't had anything like that because that's not how I was raised in this sport. We've always done our business and we move on. And it's crazy because as we've been fortunate to go higher in this sport, it's a little weird because I'm like, man, is it okay? Like, can we sit back and enjoy this a little bit? But it's just never been what we've done. Him and my father. I won a national championship. Enjoy the rest of the week. Got the week off. Next week, got to put it behind us. Now you're number one. They're coming for you. So, like, we haven't had, like Belichick just had, Bill Belichick just had a quote about his team saying, okay, we've had enough parades. We've had enough celebrations. Time to get ready for the season. Like, that was almost immediate for us. though I enjoyed it and I relished it, like we were on to the next because I knew once I made the decision to continue to fight, I knew that the rematch was imminent.
Is there a party that just wants to make the people who doubted you kind of shut up a little bit and win with a commanding victory in the rematch?
It's gonna happen.
Virgil, do you think Andre's successes in his career are going to be celebrated like one of those fighters perhaps when he's retired, rather than, in other words, that maybe he doesn't get enough accolades?
Hard to say. I said, I spoke to somebody before his first pro fight, and they asked me, did I think he would be a superstar? And I said, no, he'll just beat superstars. So, you know, I tend to stick to a favorite passage of mine, out of King James, where it says, woe be unto you if all men speak well of you. So when we live this, we know we're on track because we've been warned and educated about it. So it's no big thing. I'm proud of his career and all the things that he's accomplished. So, like you said, it's life after boxing.
Was there a time during your first fight when you began to see the fight turn? He dominated the beginning, no question about that. Was there a time when you began to say, it's not going to be that way?
I don't know if I agree with him dominating the first 6 rounds. I mean, he had some good moments for sure, especially the first couple. But yeah, after the knockdown, I think it slowly started. I don't know an exact round, but you just notice certain punches getting through. You notice the speed of the fight. You watch him in the corner. Just all of those things combined, you just get the sense that. But I was in a hole, so I didn't really have time to even relish that. Like I had to keep working. I had to keep chopping the wood. And he stayed. Hey, we need every round. That's what he told me. We need every round. So that was my mindset. So I never really had a moment where I was like, it's going my way. I just had this mindset. I gotta keep pushing. And then looked up and the fight was over.
What do you expect people to say about you after your performance on Saturday?
My goal simply is to make a statement. I'm not here to prove anybody wrong. I'm here to make a statement. It's a difference, and to remove any question marks that may be on the table.
Andre, when did you realize that certain people, or journalists or writers, or just people in general, had an agenda against you? You come home with a gold medal and you're a hero for this country. Now all of a sudden people want to see you lose.
I wouldn't say that journalists as a whole have an agenda. There's certainly I'm no idiot. I'm a student of this game, have been for a very long time. Not just the boxing. I was never just a fighter that said, okay, how much do they get paid? No, that's part of it. I wanted to understand the ins and outs. I studied Coach Sale and how he treated athletes and how, Verge educated me about the difference between how the media revered fighters back then versus now. Those guys spent times in the gym. They were in these training camps for weeks on end to see the sparring sessions, to see, man, this guy bleeding, man, you can't help but to have a different respect for any person that you spend quality time with. But I don't, there's certainly individuals that I can say, man, this guy has nothing positive to ever say, but it's part of it. It's all right. And probably right around the lawsuit time is when I got the revelation that it's something different going on here. And that's when I had to grow up. That's when I had to stop defending myself. That's when I had to shift my mindset and truly put my trust in God and say, look, my job is to not mistreat anybody. I'm not perfect, but my job is to try to represent this sport, man, and be, treat people as best I can and live my life. And if some people are gonna get it, some people aren't. And my pastor, Napoleon Kaufman, he always tells me, listen, son, live your life in the middle, man. Live your life in the middle. Don't get too high with the praises. Don't get too low with the criticism. People are gonna be people. Fight to stay in the middle, and that's what I try to do. Sometimes I get too high, sometimes I get too low. But the peace is in the middle. And that way you can live your life and enjoy it. You hear what they said? Man, I really didn't. Honestly, I didn't. How do you feel? I don't really have an opinion on it. I'm going to take my kids on vacation, man. I don't know. Because all I can do, because I know I give this sport everything I have.
Sorry.
And I also understand my position in this sport. My lane is being the understated one. And it's okay. And a lot of the rewards I get from my career and maybe some of the things that, the way I carry myself, those come offline when nobody's around. Phone calls, text messages, conversations, meaningful conversations, mentorship. Nobody knows about this stuff. Those are the confirmations that I need to stay on the right track.
Andre, who's the best? You know, if you look beyond yourself, who's the best pound for pound guy in the sport right now?
There's a lot of great fighters out there
Is there
today.
a favorite guy of yours? Not necessarily number one, but a guy you enjoy watching the most?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge Terrence Crawford fan. I think he's maybe underrated, understated. I like Lomachenko. There's a lot of guys. I hate naming guys because I always forget. But
Do you like Gervonta?
yeah, I like Gervonta. He's a good fighter.
Well, you're pretty high on Rigondeaux, unless I'm getting confused.
Yeah, Rig is who he is. He's a beast. He's a master. Teacher.
Spence?
Andre,
Of course.
I may have misunderstood you, so I just want to clarify this. Earlier, when you were talking about your first fight in Las Vegas, I thought I heard you say people didn't want me to win the fight.
There was something, yeah, of course.
So who was it?
I'm not gonna specify who. I had a round table just like this for the first fight, and like I've been around this sport long enough where when I'm saying things, I can tell if somebody's believing it, if they want to hear it, if they don't want to hear it, or I mean, I couldn't tell you the amount of faces that I saw look at me when I would say things like, "Man, I'm here, I'm ready." Yeah, okay, buddy. Like you bit off too much this time. So that's the vibe that I got. I hear things. I don't have to be in the mess to know what's being said. It's my job to know what's being said.
Does that help you a little bit in a way when you hear it and you see it, people's movements and that, all right, it's my fight, I'm fighting, they ain't, it makes me want to fight.
It's part of the equation, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's not as much of the equation as it used to be. You know, when I was younger, yeah, of course. When I was younger, it's all about proving people wrong.
Yeah.
Then when you understand the board, the whole board, and how the game is played, I'm not gonna give up my energy like that. It's not an even playing field. So I'm not gonna. People are gonna have opinions. Even some of the things I'm saying right now, it may be some at this table rolling their eyes. Say, here he goes again. This is my truth. I lived this for over a decade. Nobody can take that from me. I've been through adversity in the ring, out of the ring, and have tried to make this sport better than it was when I got here. I've never tried to do anything to tarnish this sport, to tear it down. I try to come in on weight. I try to do everything I'm supposed to do. Again, I'm not perfect, but my effort is to be an asset to this game and not a liability. But I don't care how much you try to be a good guy, you're not gonna always be liked, and you're not gonna always be liked for various reasons. And it's not my job to sit here and lay out those reasons. Those are things that individuals in their heart gotta check and figure out. Some people may not like me because of my faith. They may not like me because, why does he always wear Jordan stuff? Like, it's a number of reasons. How could he, it's a number. It's not my job to reconcile that. My job is to continue to love people. There's plenty of people that I know right reckless, but I can still say, hey man, how you doing today? That's personal growth. I get young fighters all the time. Man, these guys, man, they saying I can't punch. Be all right, man. Just keep doing what you gotta do. That's not gonna be the last time you hear something like that. I just started fighting. Just keep doing what you're doing. That's what I value. That's what I love. I take these experiences. That ain't just for me. That lawsuit wasn't just for me. That was so I can talk to the 15, 20 guys that I've talked to since then and say, look, this is what I would advise you to do. I'm not manager. Hey, if you want to talk to my people, this is what I think you should do. So it's bigger than boxing, man. It's not just about this moment. Like, it's bigger than this.
Can I? Maybe I'll ask you. Well, you came to the UK recently, and I don't know from what you're saying. I get the impression when you were in the UK, you're almost appreciated more there than you are here. That's what I don't know whether you felt that.
I just think that the UK fans have always been a little different. I don't think they have as many options in the candy store that we have here. It's a major.
But you were treated. I was there around you. Like you were treated like a superstar.
But it's always
in the UK,
been like that. It's always been like that. It's always been like that. And contrary to popular belief, I get a lot of respect here, and I get a lot of love here, and I get a lot of attention here. from the right ones. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying about talking about the two sides of the coin. You don't get the credit. Yeah, that may be true in some respects. I do get a lot of credit. I get a lot of accolades. I get a lot of credit from the right ones.
But should we make the most of you now because it might be the end for you?
I can't say
Should
that.
we? Should we?
I mean, it would be nice. I think everybody would love, kudos here and there. And I feel like I get it, but I can't say that, man. Listen, I'm gonna just like sum this whole thing up with this. In the midst of the rough times, the highs, the lows, what I take out of this, I'm just thankful. I'm blessed to be doing what I'm doing at a high level at this stage in my career. I'm blessed, man. This is over a decade. I know some fighters who lasted 4 years, 3 years, 6 years. Man, I'm 12, 13 years in. He's 12, 13 years in as a professional. Man, I'm just thankful. I'm blessed. This is a great moment, and I'm looking forward to going out there and putting on the show. And I appreciate all of you guys. We ain't always gonna see eye to eye, Some of you guys may not like me. I don't know, but it's all love, man. It's all good. I'm just thankful, bro, that I'm in this position to do what I'm doing. And again, man, I'm trying to be the best I can be to this sport. So hopefully when my career is said and done, man, I can look and say, man, it's been a great career. That's all. I'm not,
All right.
That's it.
What were you proudest of about when
She had 2 questions. That was one.
Maybe
I like that.
home later
Hey, he didn't bat an eye. He said, I got another question.
What were you proudest of about that win? Was it moving up? Was it coming back from the layoff, or was it the stuff you did in the fight to kind of turn it around?
I just think the way me and Verge and my team responded to the adversity. That's probably it. And we've done that before. Not to marginalize that moment, but it was a key moment. If we didn't respond right, it could have got bad. But just that. But at the same time, like, I look at that for a split second, and then I start to chop up all the bad stuff. That's how my mind works. So that's probably the biggest thing I can take from it. We responded the way we were supposed to respond.
Thank you.
Right,
Your problem is you make it look too easy.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the problem.
I guess, man.
That's a compliment, by the way.
I know. I've heard it before. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
He gave me opportunity to get my belts back, and June 17 will be different in a different fight.
Sergey, do you feel like, even though I know you think you won that first fight, do you feel like you didn't keep pressing the action enough in the second half and allowed Ward to get back in it?
If true, I can say one thing, that I was empty 1 month before the fight, and Ward fought with empty Kovalev. He fought with Sergey Kovalev, but right now he will fight with Crusher.
Why? Well, here's the question. You're a veteran guy. You've been around a long time, fought many years. Why would you go into a fight that significant empty? Why wouldn't you prepare the way you
I fought the first time on this level, HBO pay-per-view, and I had a lot of pressure, and I wanted to get bad shape for my fight, and I got the fall. Like 1 month before the fight, I lost all energy. I overtrained because myself pushed me, push, and I had a coach, conditioning coach, and he didn't help me to stop me on time, when I started do over, just I did everything myself. But this training camp, I already got a good conditioning coach who had a professional. He had control of all my body, and right now I have interest. What is my shape right now? I'm waiting June 17th.
Just to follow up one last time, you had said there was a lot of pressure on your first HBO pay-per-view fight. You fought Bernard Hopkins, who is the master of putting mental pressure on guys. Was the fight at all comparable to that, and did the experience of Hopkins not prepare you for fighting on that?
It was a perfect experience too, but I don't know. I don't know why. I cannot explain why, but Hopkins for me was like I wanna say that Hopkins was you know, like I didn't feel with Hopkins like he can обмануть, как бы.
To cheat on him, like to thank him.
I'll say it again, I'm sorry.
To fan him, like, you know, to how you say, like to cheat on him.
I a lot of worries about. I didn't worries about that I can't get the victory over Bernard Hopkins, you know, because I was very sure in myself, because my baby just comes delivery, my wife, you know, like my baby. I thought about I got attention about like from the boxing like of my family, and this helped me to get concentration a little bit out from the fight, and not spend much more for the fight. But this fight was like status of the fight, #1 pound for pound, like a lot of pressure, you know, was. And also I believed in the conditioning coach that he can stop me on time, that I over training or like something going wrong, right? But he didn't. For Hopkins, this coach didn't in my team. I went myself.
Sometimes when you overtrain, you know, guys say their arms or legs feel heavy and you can't throw. Is that
no? You just don't have energy, you know. Like everything, like for you, like he's doing. He lets to him doing like something, you know, because you cannot to do something. You wanna punch, but you can't to punch because you don't have energy. It's very bad feeling, you know. But first 4 rounds I had the energy, I had like dominated all 4 rounds. But after this, like I flat my tires, you know, like, and my speed lost, everything lost, like my reaction lost, and speed was in the first what I lost.
When you knocked him down at that round, have you since replayed that round in your mind?
No.
Deciding what you should
No, I just follow forward, watch the forward, and what I can. I was happy, you know. I sit down in the corner and like I thought, why I did a lot of workouts for this guy.
Yeah.
In my training camp. He's nothing. He's nothing. It's easy to fight him. What I throw him, like got him like to his face, to the body, but 5th round showed me that like, hey, stop, stop.
Sorry, you said it was round 5, Sergey, that you felt like your tires went flat?
Next question.
When did you realize you were overtrained? Did you realize it in the middle of the fight?
Because my weight already was exactly 1 month before the fight.
So when you walked in the ring, you didn't...
I didn't have a wish to fight at all, you know, like, but I I couldn't to say like to Aegis or to my promoter, Katie, don't do this fight, I'm not ready. Because everything and everybody already ready for this. What will happen is happened, you know, like I'm ready for everything, but I did what I fought how I could fight, you know, like, and like I didn't know that it will happen, but I fought good with my empty frame. How I think I fought good with empty.
Yeah.
But June 17, I think right now I feel full.
Yeah.
Full for 80%, like sure. 80% sure. I'm ready. Hello.
One of the things that technically in the fight, maybe it was tiredness as well, but your jab was very effective very early on in the fight, yeah? But you couldn't get your jab seemingly away after round 6 onwards. Do you remember?
You know, I lost my shape and everything in round of number 5. Number 6 was like same, like word was the same as the first 5 rounds, but me already was not me in number 6. In round number 7, he just found it that I'm done, and he started laughing, you know, like, and like окрылился, поверил.
Growing in confidence.
He started kind of like trusting in himself.
Yeah, he started trusting in himself, you know, wow, I can, he's done. Yeah, and what I saw, that he's like believing in himself, like, oh yes, I can, because Kovalev is empty. And he started like to do. I tried to like boxing his on a distance, but he threw the jab, I don't see it like, or so very late, you know, bam, bam, and I tuned on survivor mode, just forward him and try to like knock him out or like finish the fight here.
So when that happens, do you lose your focus mentally? Is that what happens? You lose your focus in a fight when that happens?
Because I didn't have energy. You know, when your car
Runs out of fuel.
if trunk of gas in your car empty, your car not riding, right? It was the same with me. But I don't know where my body got energy for another 6 rounds.
So you were overtrained.
It was more.
You were overtrained.
It just was on my character, you know, on my like on my mentally that I couldn't to stop. I cannot to say stop. Like I'm not ready. I'm starting to lose any round, but I didn't lose even any round. You know, like I won round number 10. I won round number 7, 8. You know, like.
How did you win by 2 rounds?
You know, it's like,
was split, you know?
I understand what happened, you know, just robbed me because like he's undefeated American fighter, okay, no problem, like, but you proved right now in the remark that you deserve it, no problem, like.
Sergey, were you okay with the referee, you know, with all the clinching going on, would that kind of upset you, or were you okay with the way he was letting you guys fight?
Клинч, он говорит, ты думаешь, что рефери сделал плохую работу, когда он дал вам клинчевать, немножко как бы обниматься?
No, I don't have any question for the referee. Just one thing, what I didn't, you know, I didn't get attention. Chris Bird, right? Или Tony Bird?
Tony Bird, right? No, Robert Bird.
I didn't get attention of Robert Bird that Andre Ward punched me low blow a lot of times. It was his fault, right? But because I'm the man, I'm not the girl. Like, hey, he's like punching me low blow, like, hey, get attention. But I didn't know that will be a plan of to rob me, right? If I knew this and or I like just kept in my mind, yes, I did. I should to do this. Like, hey, get attention. Like, he's a low blow.
This time,
a lot of low blow. I got it.
Dirty fight this time, then. Dirty fight this time. Dirty fight this time. A dirty fight this time.
Dirty fight.
A dirty fight.
Yeah, dirty fight.
No, I'm gonna fight clean. But if he's gonna make some dirty, like I will answer the same.
Yeah.
You know, like. But I think so. Tony, I know Tony Weeks. He's a great referee. He's like doing his job very good. I hope that he will be to work inside the ring fair, like honestly, you know, like, and do not to help each other, me or Ward. Like, who will win? Who is the best? Get the victory without any help. What I want to do, like, inside the ring. Let's to make a good fight for the boxing and fair fight, because these decisions as was last fight, it's like a mega terrible in our sport.
How do you control your emotion when you don't like him so much, you know, I know fighters don't want to let their emotions get out of control. How do you make sure that you stay within yourself and don't let emotions get you upset where maybe you try to do
I get a gun and kill myself.
So do you feel like you have to knock him out, that you can't let this fight go to the judges this time?
You know, like, it's not my goal, because if you follow for this goal, like, you can't do it, because, like, it's terrible. It's difficult to do it if it's your goal. But it's still my goal to stop his early, you know, it's my... I just get inside the ring, like, and kick his ass, you know, as I did with Jean-Pascal in the match. I wanna, like, have a fun to make his pain.
Sergey, do you think Andre will be surprised by how much different you have, how much more energy you have?
No.
Can you elaborate? Is there any reason why we're not questions?
Do you think, Sergey, he's so confident going into the rematch right now because he remembers the Kovalev in the second fight, so he always, in his interviews, he says, I already fought Sergey, he's not much, you know, I know what he's bringing, because he remembers the Sergey from round 5 to round 12 in his mind.
You know, it's good that he's believing in himself right now, that he got the key for me. But he didn't get the key because, yeah, he won few rounds against me with the empty collar. Again, I remember that I was empty. I was like a heavy bag, like just a fighter with who came in the boxing gym like 1 month ago, you know. And he's right now, yeah, I won a collar. You won an empty collar.
Were you able to, as you said you were close to your weight, like almost a month before the fight, were you able to put on a lot more weight after the weigh-in, as much as you usually put on?
You mean after the weigh-in we'll get more food or what?
Yeah.
No, it's not my no, it's not my goal. It's I'm eating like what my body is asking after the weigh-in. You know, like I cannot like put or eat more than my body wants. You know, like just like if I will eat like some steak, like it's enough for my body. Like I feel comfortable. I'm not going to like push more. Like it's your body will get more weight and it's difficult to move inside the ring. You know, like just like right now I feel comfortable. You know, like and my weight maybe will be 10 pounds over from the weigh-in day.
When you knocked him
like
down,
185 for the fight day.
Yeah.
Like.
When you knocked him down, were you surprised that he was able to recover?
You know, I didn't surprise because it's like it's boxing. You know, if he didn't
get up,
get up, like yes, I was surprised. Like, hey, come on, because I delivered like I late and I delivered my punch like by this point of the fist. These knuckles, yeah. Not the knuckles, like these fingers.
Yeah.
And I didn't check.
It wasn't a straight punch all the way till the end.
It was not a straight punch.
Turn
Yeah.
your hand.
My arm was bended in the elbow,
extended,
like, you
yeah.
know. It's
Yeah.
like extended, yeah.
It was just like a slap.
He was off balance.
It's again
He
a
was
proof.
off balance, yeah.
It's again a proof why I late.
Yeah.
I late because I was overtraining. My reaction was late, you know, everything. I didn't want to fight. I didn't wish to fight, you know, but I couldn't to say like, hey guys, sorry, today no fight. Like let's do it like in a couple of months. Yeah.
Do you think the start of this fight, would you like to repeat the start the way it went, like to carry the pace the way you did at the start of the first one? Would you like to be very aggressive right at the start?
I don't know, but you know, when I see his face, I want to punch him, you know, like, I will get this opportunity June 17, like, and I'm very happy for this opportunity that he like smashed his face, you know. I don't like this guy. He and his team of liars, you know. They said that he said that I gave you this rematch as a present for the boxing fans. Don't lie. It was on the contract like that you must to give me or go retire. But Jay-Z pays him like $7 million. Of course, he get it back.
So, guys, two things. When Andre Ward around in December, January, was saying he may never fight again, that he was thinking about retiring, was that hurting you mentally?
No, because I know that I will get my belts back. Anyway, kick his ass or not kick his ass, and if he decided to stop his career and go retired, and he will be live with this losing and get this belt unfair, you know. I couldn't. It's my mentally doesn't give me like to leave the boxing. If you have a questions from the boxing fans and the boxing world.
So deep down in his mind, you know that he knew he had to prove in a second fight, if he had to prove to himself that he did beat you. Yeah? You knew that he would come back for a second
знал
fight.
уже, что он должен как бы подтвердить, что он да действительно должен как бы выиграть еще раз, чтобы выиграть тебя точно.
Everybody knows, and he knows himself that he didn't win the fight, but that he just got like a present from the judges, my belts, you know, like, and he feels right now uncomfortable to be everywhere, you know, like, because like you reporters asking him like about this, and he understand this, like, you know, like, and 34, I think so, he don't go in like to additional interview, you know, like for free, you know, because it's uncomfortable situation for a real boxer and for the real champion. But if he's not a man, he's just like a kid got his belts, like he's feel comfortable. Okay, it's his life. But people who knows who is who.
If you have a second fight and you take the title, is there a chance you think you may have a trilogy, a third fight?
Let's do the second one. We'll see. We'll see.
Would you give him the opportunity in a third though if you win the belt?
But I don't want to do any business.
Right now, okay.
Yeah? I don't want to do any business with this team anymore after this fight.
Sergey, I just wonder, you know, a lot has been made. Andre Ward supposedly hasn't lost since he was 12 years old and won ever since. I wonder, in your case, you know, that was your first loss last time. Prior to that, when had the last time you had lost a fight in the amateurs? How long ago?
When did you lose?
Lost my fight in amateur.
Right, when? How long?
2008.
2008? Do you remember the circumstances of that fight?
Yeah, I remember this fight. I remember this Russian championship. It was the same as it was even much more than my last fight against Andre Ward. I won the fight, and victory gave to my opponent because he was a local. It was Moskovsky, Alexander Moskovsky from Kaliningrad. And Russian championship was in Kaliningrad. He's he was alone. One guy who's local got the final of Russian championship. I mean, like in Russia, like a system working like that. If you like doing like a championship in Moscow, Moscow must to have champion, you know. If like in Yekaterinburg, from Yekaterinburg must be have a champion, you know, of Russian champion. And what happened with me?
So they're
I
not
got
just
it.
hacking elections or hacking
Yeah, and after this I most disappointed and turned the pro. And fuck them like.
But at least Alexander Moskovsky was the man to admit it, because I had him here in the United States. He was preparing for the fight, and I brought the question. I said, "How did you win Sergey Kovalev?" And he just looked at me and he laughed and he says, "I never won him." He says, "I was fighting in my hometown and they gave me a victory over him." He told. I said, at least he was a man to admit it.
Right.
Yeah,
and instead of saying, "Oh yeah, I beat the Sergey Kovalev."
He excuses when we got the doping test. Doping test after our fight.
Right.
You know, like, and he said like, "Sergey, I'm sorry." Like I said, like, it's not your fault. It's a business. It's a Russian dirty business in the boxing. You know, in amateur.
Did that make you feel like you didn't want to fight amateur again before that night?
My losers. I have like 215 fights, and I got 193 victories of 215. And all losers, what I have, it's like 15 and 23 losers. Half of this, 12 was I lost really. Another 13 lost like by politics.
Is there a lot of kind of gangster money on the amateurs or not in Russia?
Nobody knows.
I don't know. No comments.
You think, Sergey, this rematch would be happening if there wasn't a rematch clause in the contract?
Если в
Я думаю,
контракте
что
не
мы с тобой
было, если в контракте не было отмечено,
No.
He wouldn't fight you.
Because he's right now motivated by 7 millions.
So even if they offered the 7 million, but there was no rematch clause, you don't think he would do
I
it
don't
again?
think so. He will.
They wouldn't have
No.
offered the 7 million if there hadn't been a rematch clause. They had already agreed to it, and if they didn't deliver the fight, they would have got the suit too.
Because I can say.